It's 6:45 now. David Cameron's asked for an urgent review of the threat from far-right extremist groups in Britain following the Oslo killings. This comes after claims from Anders Breivik in parts of his manifesto that he had links with the English Defence League and had met some of its leaders. We've got the leader of the EDL, Stephen Lennon, here, also known as Tommy Robinson. It says here, I should start by saying, that you were convicted this week of leading a street brawl involving 100 football fans, Luton versus Newport County. That can't be true, can it? What kind of behaviour is that for the leader of a political party?
I was convicted of swearing. When you say involving 100 people, there was one arrest. Okay. I had my hands in the air outside a football stadium. Right. In the last 12 months, I've been banned from going to football, banned from demonstrating, and I've had my bank accounts frozen. This is all to do with my political view on militant Islam and our spread of Islamism.
Okay, so how do you feel about the fact that Breivik, in parts of his manifesto, and I know you'll quote other bits now, but in parts of his manifesto has described your organisation as a blessing? You have the approval of one of Europe's biggest ever mass murderers.
In the early parts of his manifesto, he describes that. In the later parts of his manifesto, he says the EDL are, in fact, anti-fascist, anti-racist, anti-Nazi. He says our ideologies are miles apart and they can never be reconciled. He describes us as naive fools. He says that he will use acts of terror and we will condemn acts of terror. We are anti-fascist. We condemn all violence. Our prayers and sympathies with the victim of what this horrible monster has done. But this is just the media are cherry-picking what they want to fit their agenda in order to demonise our organisation. We've got a problem in this problem. There is uncontrollable level of anger across Britain that is being suppressed against the spread of Islamism, the effect it's having on us and our daily lives in communities.
But in what sense is it being suppressed? You say it's a reasonable point to say the debate isn't being had, but I get all the newspapers every morning at 5 o'clock. Every day there is something in it addressing this issue. If we just look back over some of the headlines over the past few years, look, it's the Mirror back in February. We got the Sun in February too. Guardian in June, yep. More recently as well in the Mail. The Mail today, you know, this story: walking the street, the hate preacher banned by Britain, in the front page of the Mail. This debate is being had. We don't need the English Defence League to force it.
The debate's not being had because as soon as anyone tries to comment about it, you're an extremist. The English Defence League's not extremist.
But the Daily Mail, you know, I've got my own views on the Daily Mail, but no one's really calling it actually extremist. You know, that's a reasonable news story.
People are calling us extremists. We condemn all violence. There's nothing extreme about us. You just introduced us as far right. Yeah. What sort of far right organisation has a Jewish division, a lesbian and gay division, a Sikh division, a Hindu division? Yeah. There's nothing far right about our organisation. Yeah. We are against the spread of Islamism. This is a serious threat to our nation. It's a serious threat to our kids' futures. And as soon as you say anything, you're suppressed and you're beaten down with racist sticks.
But looking at your website, you've done a fine job cleaning up your website, as you'd be expected to do. But there's Facebook sites, as you well know, associated with you. People calling themselves EDL members, saying some pretty reprehensible things that I couldn't repeat on a family programme.
What I say is anybody can say anything on Facebook. It's like Datbreak probably has tens of thousands of followers. You're not responsible for what they say on Facebook. We can't be responsible. We have a website which we control. We monitor it. At the end of the day, there's an undercurrent of anger and frustration. It needs to be spoke about. You need to give a platform. They're trying to take our democratic rights to even protest over these issues away. And all we want to do is express how we're feeling and how worried and scared we are in our communities by the problems that Islam's causing.
I saw you on Newsnight with Jeremy Paxman, and you were keen to point out, obviously you condemn what the Breivik did, but you did say there's a warning there for us. What did you mean by that?
I mean, there should be act as a wake-up call. People need to realise the frustration, the anger, the alienation to us in our own towns and communities in the problems with Islam, and you can't suppress it. You need to give a platform to it so people feel that they can express themselves without this racist tag, automatic racist tag. I'm not a racist, I'm not fascist in any sort of way. I hate racism and fascism. Islamism and Nazism are opposite sides of the same coin.
But you're saying we could get, you know, there are loons out there who could end up trying to do what Breivik says.
I'm saying that they will create monsters unless they have this debate. Unless people see an avenue and they see things are going to change in this country. And we're marching in Tower Hamlets on the 3rd of September, and I believe the Home Secretary will ban it. She's banned 3 of our demonstrations. They have never banned an Islamic organisation's rallies or demonstrations, no matter how extreme. They can burn poppies, they can attack our troops, do what they want. There's a two-tier system across this country, one rule for them, another rule for us. It needs to change.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, God bless.